is Warlord Games Pike Shotte Swedish Infantry, a great way to get started with your Swedish 30 Years War Army. So in this kit you're going to get 42 plastic and metal 28mm Swedish Infantry. I'm going to turn this around. So the 42 plastic miniatures will consist of 24 musketeers and 14 pikemen with an officer, sergeant, drummer, and ensign. The metal Swedish feather musket rests and morion helmets are included in this set, and then you get a full background guide on the Swedish Army for 30 Years War. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. Alright, first off, you have your build guide and information sheet. Gives you information on the Swedish Army during the 30 Years War. Inside are the stats for the Swedish pikemen and Swedish musketeers, and you'll have more information on the Swedish Army, as well as King Gustav II Adolphus. Gustavus Adolphus, basically. On the back are your flags, and we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at these. As you can see, Swedish infantry flag, Småland Regiment, King's Life Guard, Swedish Green Regiment, and a bunch of other flags that you can use. And these are all beautiful. Again, this is the matte paper, so just keep that in mind. If you're going to use these, you can also photocopy them and use them for your regiments. And that's it. Next up is the standard command sprue. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. This is not any different from any of the other plastic kits for Pike Shotte. As you can see, basically their uniform, or at least their look, was pretty similar, with the exception of certain things like helmets and other stuff. And we're going to see that later on in what makes this kit unique. So obviously 3 torsos for your command, different weapon options. You have the spears for the flag bearers, as well as the drum. There's the ensign right there. There's an axe. Floppy hat with feather, which is actually kind of nice. And in fact, I'm going to try to get closer here so we can take a more detailed look at some of these. So there's the floppy hat with feather, which is nice. Your 3 command. All your different options. Take a look at the drum. Nothing special about that. And there you have it. That's the command sprue. Next up are your 3 sprues that will consist of your musketeers and your pikemen. These are all identical, so we're just going to take a closer look at one of them. Bring it down so you can see the detail. There's some pikes there. Torsos. There. There's quite a few of them. Muskets or firelocks, and then a number of different hat or helmet options, and some feathers and stuff like that, so you can make them make those hats look quite fancy and unique. So on each of these sprues you're going to get 13 figures that'll make up your pikemen and your musketeers. And again, you get 3 of these sprues. Next up, and this was a surprise to me, you actually get your standard infantry bases from Warlord. Some kits don't have this. I'm glad that these do, so that it means I don't have to source any bases or try to dig up any extra bases that I might have lying around. Again, this is just the standard Warlord infantry bases. So. Alright, so I had to kind of be careful draining this over because of all the metal that's in this has actually ripped the baggie that it was included in. As you can see, Swedish Infantry, and then this is packed by Judith. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this bag off camera and kind of lay out all of the components, and we'll go from there. Alright, so even though I already thanked Judith for packing this, I did want to bring up the fact that this does have a couple metal spears. These are very sharp, so be careful. Do not throw this away. You will be using these. Alright, so here are the miniatures that were included in that baggie. A number of these. This is all command stuff, so I believe that these would be the 2 officers. Right there. There are arms and stuff that will enhance the look of this specific figure, as well as this one. Okay, we have a drummer. And then we have these 2 pikemen. So I believe these would be our flag bearers. They are holding swords, and they were probably going to have their flags extended out. As you can see on the bottom, you have to drill a hole through the hand in order to put those two metal spears through. So just be careful with that, but at least they already put like a pilot hole. It'll be a lot easier to put that through. So these figures are actually quite nice looking, and very, very Swedish looking. So definitely will add more flair, especially since this is a Swedish infantry set. We're going to move on to the rest of the metal stuff. Alright, so I wanted to show off the amount of Morian helmets that you get in this set. I'm just going to bring a couple up because they should be very similar looking. You could even see, I think, some riveting in the helmets. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's there. But as you can see, there's quite a few of them. A number of them have actually gone pulled off or broke off from the metal sprue here, but it should be more than enough to outfit a lot of your musketeers and pikemen to give them that more Swedish look, as opposed to just having them look like, for example, the English Civil War figures, because the sprues are very much the same. Okay, so you have a number of musket rests that the Swedish musketeers used. Not nearly enough, so if you're going to use these, in fact, there's one that fell off, or two of them that fell off. You probably want to just use them for your front rank. It makes a little bit more sense. That way you're utilizing them or maximizing the amount that you can use. So that is what you get. These are just standard musket rests here, and nothing too special about them. So alright, and lastly you get these three sprues that have a number of different arm options. Arms with pistols. You have a couple of spears here, another set of arms, one holding the drumsticks for the musician, and then you have a couple with the one with a doffed hat with feather right there, and then a standard hat, and then another feathered hat. So that's what we have. All these metal components are what are going to make these standard Pike and Shotte figures into the Swedish infantry, because of all the unique options that make them uniquely Swedish. And there you have it, Warlord Games Pike and Shotte Swedish Infantry, a great way to get started with your Swedish Army for 30 years war in the Pike and Shotte game system. It comes with 42 plastic and metal miniatures and has enough unique Swedish flair via the metal bits that are included in this to ensure that this looks different than the other 30 years war armies that you will be fielding in Pike and Shotte. So, alright. That's it. If you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new unboxings coming out of the channel. And then click on the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That is the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat to you about Pike and Shotte and any other game that we cover on the channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos from Wargaming Noob Historical.